Right everyone, today, as you can see I'm at home, I'm going to show you how to do a basic vegetable stir fry, which is for your next test with your fish and chips. So, on the board I've got a selection, if you can see, of different vegetables. I've got peppers, small peppers, quite sweet, baby sweet corn, I've got some fine beans, some Mons 2, some broccoli, pear, peel carrot, some chilli and some spring onions. And over here I've got some fresh egg noodles, so they're already cooked. Right, first thing first, when you're doing a test, we want to do the veg nice and neat. So I've got my carrot and I'm going to cut it into some nice sort of julienne style cut, nice and neat. I'm going to put them onto my tray over here, the preparation tray. Obviously, I want to make sure that each vegetable is kept separate because obviously the cooking time is going to be different. You can't just chuck the whole lot in together, else it'll taste vile. It'll be really soggy and nobody will want to eat it. I'm going to do a little bit more carrot, just 1 or 2 more slices. And I'm going to put them onto my tray. Ready. Right. Peppers, so I've got a nice yellow pepper. These are small, obviously, really sweet. So end off, I'm going to slice it. If I leave the seeds in, obviously it makes it a bit hotter. So I'm going to leave a few seeds in, not too many, just a few, get a little bit of flavour. Turn the pepper over and I'm going to cut it again, julienne. Nice neat strips, again onto the tray. Keep it separate. We don't want loads of sort of the white skin. We want a nice, neat pepper. Red one, exactly the same. Top off, slice it down the middle. Take the seeds out into your waste. Over you go. Nice julienne. Peppers are all cooked the same, obviously. Peppers, and I'll leave those other ones. Sweet corn, because they're already the right size. I'm just going to trim it down slightly, take the end off. I'm going to cut those into thirds, I think. So I've got nice little pieces. Again, same again. Might even get away with quarters, depending on how big they are. Try and keep them all the same. So when you serve it, it all looks nice when it's mixed in. So put that to one side. Green beans, again with the green beans, top and tail. Put your waste in your waste bin. And with these, just going to trim them so they're all the same. Same again, I've got a few more here. I'm just going to trim them down. Any of this veg that's left over, you could use it for a stock, depending on what kind of stock you want to make. So Mons 2, they're really flat. They take seconds to cook. So with these, like I said, same sort of thing like a julienne. These, we'll put in, these go in last. They take literally, like I said, seconds. Broccoli, but you can't cut the broccoli into julienne, so I'm just going to get some small florets, try and get them all the same size. And remember, you're only making 2 portions, and I'm only really making 1 portion to show you, so I don't need loads. My spring onion, I'm going to peel it back, make sure there's no dirt, and get the layer of skin off. I'm going to trim the end. I'm going to trim it down, and again with this, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to cut it into 3, so I've got the length, and then I'm going to cut it in half again, and then in half again. So, like I said, onto your tray, same again, nice and neat. Normally, obviously, if I was at work, I'd be using a green board or a brown board, preferably a brown board, but you could use a green. Brown preferably. And I've got some fresh chilies, that's going to go in. So I've got about 7 vegetables there. I've got, over here, I've got sweet chilli. Now obviously I'm using a sweet chilli already made. That is just literally sugar, water, chilli, a bit of ginger. Boil it all up, let it reduce down like you would with a chutney. You can make your own then. Also, I've got some chilli and ginger that's already chopped and pureed in here. Normally I'd put a piece on here, a piece of ginger about half the size of your thumb, grate it, but I'm going to use the fresh stuff today. Well, say fresh, it's almost fresh. And I've got some salt and pepper. Soy sauce, well, that is basically salt. So we've got to be really careful how much we put that in. We don't want to overpower things. So when I'm going to fry all this off now, what you've got to remember is, when you serve it, it needs to be something warm. So a bowl, not a plate. Make sure it's warm because that stuff will go cold really quick. Here, with my noodles, I want to mix all the noodles in. Now you could use these fresh noodles or you could use dried noodles. Dried noodles, you just need to obviously put them in some boiling water for a few seconds. I'm going to use the sweet chilli here. If you want to make it a hot chilli, obviously I'd have put some more diced chilli. I've only got a little bit here. Normally I'd put a lot more in, but this is going to be a sweet chilli. So I'm going to allow perhaps a tablespoon per person. We don't want it swimming. That's the main thing. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They put too much stuff in and it's like dripping with different flavours. So we don't want to overpower it. So I'm just going to go over to where I'm cooking and I'm going to put this stuff on the tray and I'm coming over now. So give me 1 second. I'll have to take everything with me. Right. I'll just grab the phone. So going over to the cooker. I know it's not the best way I would normally do things. So if we can see that. There's the cooker. Let me get the phone onto it. The light on. Alright. So there's my cooker. I've got a wok pan. Now obviously the reason why we use a wok is because the sides are really deep. So wok's going on. As you can see that. Let's have a look. Get that right. There we go. So the wok's going on. I've got some sesame oil. I'm just going to put a little bit in. Don't need too much. It's just enough to start the cooking process off. And obviously this is called a stir fry, and the reason being we stir as we fry. So I've got the power up quite high. With this wok, all the power is and all the cooking temperatures at the sides. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in the heavy and the thick vegetables. So the carrot's going first. And I've got chilies, and I'm going to put in my chilli and ginger that I've mixed. So a nice bit of chilli and ginger. That's cooking away nice now. Need to keep it moving. Next one, beans, next hardest vegetable, and my peppers, and my sweet corn. And what I want to do is get all the flavours in really quick. Stir fry means you're stirring and you're frying, obviously, at the same time. I'm going to put my broccoli in and my onions. So now I've got all my, and my munch too. So I've got all my flavours in now. So what I need now is some of the sweet chilli. So this one is just a plain sweet chilli. So I'm going to put the equivalent to 2 good spoons. That's all I'm putting in. Let's see that. Hold up. There we go. So that now will take literally 30 seconds. When it comes out, I'm going to put a little bit of soy on it, and the soy will just give it a salty flavour. You can add spring onions and also whatever you want now. So I'm just going to give it a few more seconds, and that will be cooked. And then what I'll do, I'll take it back over to where I was just, and we'll plate it up. Alright, so I'm going to just give it some of the coffee. And you see that all the heat is at the sides now. This is what you want. You want to coat that and get the heat into it. Right, that's done now. Off we go. So if you give me 1 second now, I'll just get my holder for the phone, and then I can show you what we're doing. Right. Right, I'm back. So, got my stir fry, and I've got my bowl. So, in my bowl, I'm going to start plating up. Move that a bit. Right, I'm back. So what I'm doing, I'm just laying, I'll get this onto screen, hang on. I've got my bowl, and I'm putting everything into the centre, and I'm bringing it up. The bowl's warm, and I've got then another fresh spring onion, and what I'm doing with this is, for the finish, I'm going to cut some diamonds really thin. These are really nice, bit of crispy topping. So I've got some nice fresh onions, and my noodles that I've just cooked off there in the pan. These noodles now I'm going to mix in. So I've got my noodles and I've got my soy. So the soy really acts as a salt. Just a little bit over the top. Nice and neat. Served at least 75 degrees on a warm bowl. Let me come and show you. Let me lift the phone. And so we're looking at that. Hang on. There we go. Nice, neat plate. Not overpowering, not too much. Not too much of anything. Nice and neat. There we go. Cheers.